is here with us. She's a professor at the Institute for Governance and Rural Development, College of Public Affairs and Development at the University of Philippines, Los Baños. So she's here basically to present information regarding the upcoming 4th International Conference on Governance and Development, ICGD4, which is scheduled for July 2025. And we feel that this is highly relevant and beneficial for such students. So thank you all for being here, and the students, the room, the presentation is yours.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to come here to meet with us. I'm with two other colleagues, Dr. Gumasi and Dr. Malabayabas. So I understand this will be a very brief overview of what we're expecting to happen in 2025, and I hope that you will be able to somehow participate if you see it fit to your line of work. So let me just start, please. So we call it the ICGD4. It's the International Conference for Governance and Development, and this is the fourth of a series that we've been doing since 2019. So we were able to do this luckily before the pandemic, the first one. Okay. So it's a biennial event, as it mentioned here. So what we do here really is to provide a platform to discuss issues about governance and development challenges. And this could be a range of different issues, as you would see later. As a platform for dialogue, we would want to share research findings, to promote collaboration as an after event for the initial interactions that happens during the conference. And most of the things discussed here really center on how we are able to navigate the complex linkages in governance and development issues, both in the local and global context. So this is the fourth run of the conference, the ICGD, and in this fourth cycle of the conference, what we would like to emphasize is the role of global citizenship and the role of community. So that will be the main theme of this fourth cycle of the conference. So the nexus between governance, the role of citizenship, and how communities are empowered. So those are the three main sub-themes that we would like to cover. So in this fourth leg of the conference, one thing new that we're doing also is we're bringing this stage to the international level. We're partnering with the AIT University, and we also have here the School of Integrated Science. So it's UPLB, the University of the Philippines in Los Baños, together with these two institutions in Thailand, who will be collaborating and working together to bring this conference to international arena. So this is the first time that we're doing this. So we're coming here to actively promote so that many of us, especially students, universities who are here, will be able to participate, I hope. So the conference theme is Governance for Impact. So championing global citizenship and empowering communities. So there are three sub-themes to this conference. The first theme is lifelong learning for sustainable development. We've been listening a lot about the SDGs and everything. And the one main sub-theme of the conference is to look at how lifelong learning contributes to sustainable development discussions. The other conference sub-theme is innovative institutions for community development. So here we would want to focus on the role of community institutions in particular in promoting governance and development outcomes. And the third would be to look at the communities of practice. So this could be a combination of different institutions working at the community level, and how this impacts at the global scale as well. So these are the conference sub-themes. In the subsequent slides, you would see here some finer details of what we would expect in the possible topics that we may be covering for the different sub-themes. So in lifelong learning, we have here the contribution of lifelong learning in promoting the SDGs, education for social change, innovations in lifelong learning, community-based lifelong learning, and global citizenship education. We also have here interdisciplinary approaches to lifelong learning, indigenous knowledge system, education management and governance, higher education initiatives for lifelong learning, innovative pedagogies for transformational learning. So these are just some examples, just to give us some ideas on what might this sub-theme cover. And we have more here. So many things here about education, building skills for sustainable livelihoods, integrating sustainable development in the education curricula, community-based lifelong learning centers for inclusive education, of course, the role of technology, digital platforms, and e-learning for lifelong learning, and lifelong learning policies for sustainable governance. The next sub-theme would be innovative institutions for community development. These are some of the examples of what might this sub-theme include. So we have here innovations for inclusive and equitable community development, the transformation of local institutions for resilience and sustainability. Again, we have here the role of digital innovation in how we enhance service delivery and how we engage citizens, integrating technology and community-based institutional innovations, and of course AI in agriculture is also a part of this sub-theme. We see here entrepreneurship together with innovation, intergenerational approaches to development, the role of PPPs, public-private partnerships in community development, partnerships for community development, and innovative financial institutions for financing community development. Next, community-driven approaches for SD. We also include here circular economy initiatives, governance and leadership innovations, community resilience, and local tourism and development. And finally, for the last sub-theme, what we have here are knowledge sharing for local and global impact, adaptation and knowledge transfer, sustainable development through global communities, communities of practice for inclusive governance and development, and communities of practice for resilience. Okay, here we also have policy and governance in local communities, innovations and best practices in localized development, structures in local communities, especially in a globalized context. We have here also how we strengthen community-led governance for sustainable development. Again, you can see here digital transformation and e-governance for community development. Oops, sorry. Okay, and I think this is the last of the examples of possible topics under the third sub-theme, social innovations and governance for inclusive development, resilience through community-based governance, education governance, knowledge sharing, the integration of traditional knowledge in modern governance for global sustainability, and youth engagement and governance in COP. So there are a lot of topics that are mentioned there, just to give us some flavor of what we might be expecting in the kind of topics that can be covered under the different sub-themes. So let us look at how we plan to roll out the conference. So there will be pre-conference workshops and conference proceedings thereafter. In terms of timelines, we have already, we are going to soon open the call for abstracts. This is on December 9. and we will be accepting abstracts until February 14, 2025. That's Valentine's Day. I hope between December 9th, between now until the 14th of February next year, you would be able to probably think of some materials or topics or papers that you may have already, and you may consider to, take that ride, go into Cassette Start next year and share those findings, research findings. So there is also simultaneous to the call for abstracts, a call for panels. Okay, and this will be by invitation. Usually we get in touch with some select institutions if they can organize within their network of certain specialized fields a panel for the conference. So the call for panel will happen between December 9 and January 31. And then we will be requesting submission of full papers uh, sometime in 2025. So that from full papers, probably we can select the best papers, we can give some awards based on those submissions. Okay. So the conference will open registration on New Year's Day. Happy New Year 2025. So please register to ICGD4. And then there will be a pre-conference workshop on the 30th of July. So that's July 30. The main conference dates will be from July 31 to August 2. So that's 3 days. And this will happen in Cassette Start University in Bangkok campus here in Thailand. I hope your schedules are clear during these dates. There's time to organize them. These are the registration fees that you will see here. So, see here students. There's a pre-conference workshop, okay? There are different currencies with which you can pay. The method of payment is also there. And then, to know more about ICGD4 and further announcements, you may please check these QR codes. So I think that's just about it. Probably at this time, what would be most important is to find some sense of alignment of the conference sub-themes, the specific topics that were listed, if there are items there which might interest you or which you may have already worked on in the past, which could be submitted right now. What is that again? The submission of abstracts, okay? You can think of that and see how you may be able to participate in ICGD4. So we do hope really to see many of you, most of you here to join us in ICGD4 this coming 2025. So if you have any questions, we're here to respond to your queries. Thank you. Yeah.
Julius Menes, mom, from our remote sensing and GIS. I'm doing a PhD here. And also, I'm also representing my school back in the Philippines, Marian Marcos State University. So I have, it's very interesting for that, and you also conducting this here in Thailand. So it's very affordable for us, but still, I still want to ask if you still have these student assistantships for, assistant or fellowship for students who wants to present, because our school back in the Philippines may also have interest for presenting the researches, because I'm also still working for them. Another one, before I will ask everyone, and then another one for is the conference publications. If you have to publish the at least the conference proceedings, for example, and if possible, if there is an options for online presentations. So those are the questions as of the moment that I want to have from you. Thank you so much.
Okay. First off, Agyamanak, nakita ka doon. I come from Ilocos. We come from the same province in the Philippines. So Mariano Marcos is just a stone's throw away from my family house. Anyway, okay. Regarding the first question was, are there student assistantship? Is that right? Right now, that hasn't come up in the discussions, but we take note of that query. Probably we can respond more concretely for later. I'll ask my colleagues later. Regarding the publications, yes, of course, in every conference that we do, we always want that the endpoint of this will be able to generate some publications out of it. At the College of Public Affairs, we do have a journal where we can publish the the full papers, of course, subject to some criteria from an editorial board and everything. So, more further to that, probably I ask my two other colleagues to respond to the query with regards to the publication, especially the conference proceedings. Yes.
Hello.
Meron.
Yeah, for the proceedings, I think those who will be selected as one of the best papers or will be asked to submit the full papers, and we have a proceeding after the conference. So if you get invited to that, hopefully, then it will be subjected again to a peer review and all that before it gets published.
But probably what I would also like to thank you for that is, yes, we will appreciate indeed that while you're here in Bangkok, if you have the opportunity to share the information to your home universities out there in the Philippines. We're also doing some local promotion. We've started to do that and we continue to do that until before the start of the conference in July. But we could get more help that will make us happier. So advance thanks for that. Dr. Malabayamas, do you want to add anything?
I think I'm gonna respond to the last question if it's like online. For the past two ICDG, we're holding it online, and it's gonna be face to face. So it's gonna be face to face. We will not do no hybrid at all. It's been 2 years since the pandemic. We hold it online and to see each other, And what's the end of the conference for networking and collaboration?
Thank you so much.
Much the underlying, power behind all those things. So I really hope that you can find resonance for what you do in governance and development, and we'll see you in Bangkok to respond to any queries that you may have. Rather than email us or go to that QR code, we're here to answer your questions, if any.
Since no one is raising while they are maybe processing what they want to ask, maybe I'm interested also with the registration fee. What is the inclusion of that? Is it only for the registration fee, or is it includes some other things that will be spent there? Like, yeah.
So the inclusion would be it's a 2 day event. The last day, because we are expecting a lot of foreigners in Thailand, of course, not in the Philippines, but most of them are Filipinos coming over. They're looking for the last one is a cultural tour. So if you notice, 30 August 1 and 2, but basically it's August 31 and 1 are the main conference. So the inclusion for snacks, the lunch.
Lunch, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one that I want to ask.
Yes, but if you're interested, we are still finalizing the pre-event workshops. There's gonna be 3 pre-event workshops. It's not included in the registrations additional.
So, for example, if we don't want to attend the workshop,
It's
and
okay, it's fine.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
But if you want to attend, it's like first come first serve.
For the workshap on
Yes.
itself. And the workshop is face to face also.
Yes, it's a day before, so it's gonna be July 30, all day. Also in the same place where the conference will be, at the same venue.
I didn't see, ma'am, but I would like to ask if what is the expectation during the workshop, for example. Just wondering,
What do you mean by expectation?
like what will be the things that we are going to do in that workshop, so that it may interest us to join also, for example.
We're still finalizing it.
Ah,
So I don't want
sorry
to
po.
preempt it, but probably before the like middle of December or early next year, the pre-workshops will be there.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's all from me.
Published. Of course, it's also an occasion to meet uh, researchers who may be aligned to your interests, especially that this is face-to-face. It's also a big part of that is networking and partnership for possible collaboration for research. And that goes beyond our institution. That can be from peer to peer. But of course, what we also want is that that kind of networking and collaboration, interaction, virtual, continues on. Because as we said, this conference happens every 2 years. And we hope that that event does not stop in just one event. That the conversations that we start during the conference continue on. Some discussions could lead to possible ideas of what areas can you may work on together also in future. So I think that's one of those things also that it's not necessarily captured by the presentations, but these things do happen in conferences.
Before we came here, we were at the AIT Extension, so we also had a talk with Dr. Karim, and later on with Director Joe. So we had an ongoing MOU, Memorandum of Understanding between UPLB and AIT, and I think this is one of the ways in which we can strengthen our collaboration, not only as Philippine universities, but also other ways that we can collaborate here in Thailand. So that we're also going to Mejo, we're also talking to Chiang Mai. I think it's time that we also bring together ASEAN, the region, and I think first time also to collaborate together with an international university. So I think it will be a good opportunity to network, to also build relationship outside of what you have here now as students of AIT, but also with your own institution. So whether you come there as a presenter or someone who would like to observe, I think that will be a good opportunity either way.
Is there anything else? Questions? I see no more.
Last
I, yeah, okay.
So the last question that I want to ask right now, ma'am, is like, are you allowing more than one submission from one author?
Yes, that will be subject to review anyway.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, we are allowing, but the presenter would not be the same author. You know what I mean? So if you submit one paper, you'll be the presenter, but the other one should not be. Because what if the two came up at the same time? So I think that's in the guidelines.
There's also opportunity for poster presentation. So it's not only paper, there's also poster presentation.
Okay. Very much for making the time to come here. We know that I think your classes end at around 4-ish. But thank you. Thank you really for...
Finals week.
Tapos ng class. Oh, so you're resting. it's you're resting from the finals. Waiting for grades. Okay. So thank you very much for coming here to meet with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.